everyone, this is Natasha Masando, and today I'm going to be discussing lab number 4, which is focused on frequent pattern growth algorithms for association rule mining. So pretty much the goal with this type of algorithm is to associate like different items or transactions, like for example, whenever customers are shopping, and have better frequent rules so that we can associate certain items based on what the customer has previously purchased. So looking at this data set, for example, we have each transaction ID and each particular item that the customer purchased. So pretty much with the frequent pattern rule, this is whereby we compress the database into a tree format. Each node of a tree or items and their support count, and each branch represents the association. So pretty much we're just mining the frequent pattern tree, and the solution, I'm just going to go over it on how we can do that. So we first list down the items and the number. So this is the support count, and these are the items from this data set. So for example, we have the letter or the item F, and then we count how many times it has appeared on our database, or on our data set. So for example, F has appeared 4 times, and then we go in that order: A, C, D, G, I, M, P, and then we list down the amount of number, descending order, and how frequent they each appeared on each different transaction ID. So pretty much the support count for each item, we just scan the database, and then after we do that, we go to the L, which is the frequent pattern, the initial part of it. So what we do here is we need to find our minimum support, and for example, in this case, I chose the number 3, which will be the minimum support number. We then list all the items whose frequent support is 3 or more. So if you look at our items here, I will cross out like H, for example, because it's 1, J, W, K, S, E, N, and then O, I, because they have 2, D as well, G, and then I. So that means I'm left with F, C, A, M, P, B, and then I wrote them. You always have to make sure that they're all in descending order from the highest to the lowest. And then when list all the items whose frequent support is 3 or more. These are the frequent patterns or items whose support count is pretty much greater than the minimum support number that I gave you. We also need to make sure that we're writing them down in this decreasing order like I did here. And then once we do that, we have to find the order set, which is over here. So the order set, that means whatever frequent number I have here, if it's F, so the order is F, C, A, M, P, B. So I'll look for here in the order set, I'll look at the items purchased. So we have F, it does exist in this transaction ID. We have C, we have A, we have M, we have P. And then I go into the second transaction ID and I do the same thing, repeat the same thing pretty much. And we have F, we have C in the same order, A, M. However, on this transaction ID, we don't have P, so I just went to the next one, which was B. And then the same thing, F does exist, but the other rest of the items, they do not. And then here, the same thing, C, P, B, and then lastly, F, C, A, M, P. So once that is done, then we pretty much would have scanned each transaction based on the pattern, right? Then we have to first write the first item in the transaction in the order, just like I did here. Then once we do that, we then have to, we go on to the next stage, which is the tree of the ordered item set. This is going to be in the same order, listing each frequency, then lastly a node link of each tree. So you see I have the same order or item ID, F, C, A, M, P, B, and then I have the supporting count, which is the same numbers, 443333. And then the NL, which stands for node link, this is what you would use to build the tree, and now will be the root of the tree, which is called now. So whenever you have the rule or when you have the now, which means you're making a rule, the node of the item set with the frequent count, if it is repeated we increase the whole item with the frequency, and then we draw each tree with its supporting count. So for example, F exists here, and then we put F1, F2 for the second part, F3 in that order. And then if it doesn't exist, like for example, B doesn't exist on item transaction 300, so that means I would have to move it to the side or the right side and then put 1 because it only appears like here 3 times. And that's how you build a tree for frequent pattern frequent pattern growth. I apologize. Thank you.